don't know. We might be alive already.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, we're definitely live.
That doesn't explain why we're whispering. Yet still, still. And I messed up.
Should we whisper for the whole show?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I don't know why we started. It was your
Should we
idea.
stop? I just followed you.
Well, you first.
Right. I stopped.
I dropped my phone. It's
You
Kitty's
dropped your
fault.
phone. You're what? All right. Um, good morning, everybody. I'd say that. Yeah. Andrea, what holiday is today? Or not holiday? Actually, it would be considered holiday.
Let me look. Oh, it's Blogger Day.
Blogger Day. Right.
Yeah.
What? Logger, like go with an axe and chop down trees, or blogger, like go
Blogger with
online
a B.
and vent about your um okay,
Blogger
blogger.
Day. When is it going to be
Yeah.
Vlogger Day with a B? I mean, with a V. Um,
It might have already passed. I don't remember.
do you
I'd have to
celebrate
go
it?
back and look at I'd
Do
have
you
to go back and
vlog?
look at the calendar. Oh no.
I bet that the people who make up these um inventions are um not gonna be friendly towards loggers.
Mm.
Like, I don't think that loggers are gonna get a day.
You never know. There's holidays for everything.
It is possible.
One I found amusing recently was Grab Some Nuts Day.
What?
What day is that?
I think it was last week sometime. I'd have to go look at the calendar.
I didn't get to celebrate.
You didn't get to grab your nuts?
Probably
I mean,
using the bathroom that day if that counts.
yeah, every day's grab your nuts day if you have the balls for it.
Um, yeah, I was gonna start with any rocket news because I've seen something that might have been old that said space news, and then there was something else that you posted that I was like, let's talk about that first. Um,
Uh, I
should I go
mean, you
grab
say
it?
that every single time. Every
I want you to
time.
start
Uh,
every
um,
time.
there was a rocket
SpaceX
that went up from Vandenberg last night, yesterday. And there's a rocket that went up just a few hours ago, a Falcon 9 that went up here at Cape Canaveral.
Spa- I,
Meanwhile, Andrea,
SpaceX crashed into the moon.
yeah, SpaceX had a second stage of one of their Falcon 9 rockets that had been used, I believe, to deploy a batch of Starlink satellites. I could be. Actually, I feel like I probably am wrong about that. Starlink satellites are in low Earth orbit, such low Earth orbit that I think the second stages are discarded in the atmosphere. Let me see. Andrea, actually, you had a
Yeah, I saw
news
it this
on.
morning.
Yeah. But an out of control SpaceX rocket stage has crashed into the moon. I don't think it was out of control. I don't know. Let's read on. Striking the lunar surface with the force of about 3 tons of TNT and leaving behind a new crater. Um, Anything that strikes the moon's surface leaves a crater. Um, it's just a matter of size. Um, 3 tons of TNT is a lot of energy, though. Um,
I would think
anyway,
so.
yeah. The 4,000 kilogram section came from a Falcon 9 rocket launched in January 2025. Why are they using Europe numbers? Anyway, to carry a lunar lander. Wait, Falcon 9 rocket launched in 2025 to carry a lunar lander. Unlike most upper stages which return toward Earth and burn up in the atmosphere, it remained in space after the mission required additional thrust. This is an article written by somebody who's not particularly well versed in the mechanics of space launching. YNET News, Ynet
Yeah, I
Global.
had never heard of it. I tried to find a different one, but this was the one that popped up.
Oh, Tel Aviv, Jaffa. Okay, so it's from Israel. Okay. Not that that's any toaster.
Um,
Hi, world.
top of the morning. Every time I see you with that crown right there, what is that? Oh,
Charlotte
okay.
FC, the crown. Because Charlotte is the Queen City, no matter what Cincinnati thinks.
Mm.
I don't what? The Queen City? What?
Yeah,
It's a soccer thing.
yeah, it's a soccer thing. Cincinnati is also called the Queen City. I
Mm.
forgot why.
Yeah. I'm just so confused about who
Charlotte's
decides
named
all of these things, like holidays and
Charlotte
city
was named
nicknames.
after Queen Charlotte.
Mm.
Mm. Okay, makes sense.
Okay. When was Queen Charlotte?
I have
And
no.
why would Cincinnati think they have a claim to it? It sounds like you've got it really like
Well,
on
it's still a
point.
fun. It's still a fun little thing when Cincinnati and Charlotte meet up.
Fight of the Queens.
Yeah, it's like it's its own little
Former
derby,
Queen
I
consort.
guess. There's signs that like
Loot.
Charlotte is the
Ooh.
real Queen City, or you'll see Cincinnati is the real Queen City. And of course, whoever wins, it's like
Told you we're the
told
Queen
you.
City.
Yeah,
uh,
but it's
17.
fun.
yeah,
Or
Toaster. Since you're here, we could start with there was something that a reason we asked you to come. I think it was talking about. I think Mark said the Board of Education or something like that. Uh,
Well, remember, I have to drop off at like 1, and then I'll be back on.
okay. For now,
Sorry.
uh,
Sorry, world, but appointments do take precedence.
yes, absolutely.
yeah, I got an appointment with a lawyer, but we'll be done by then. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. There's a hard time limit on today, I think. Right?
yeah. I just, I mean, I plan on going until 2. I know you guys won't, but that's what I usually schedule for. Um, and then yeah, this
Oh, you
lawyer,
guys might not be on when I get back.
maybe. Uh, I can if you want me to be. Um, yeah, the lawyer. Did I tell you guys? He at first he kind of left a voicemail like he was giving up on me, and I was just like, well, all right then. And then he called and told me that he wasn't giving up on me. I was like, yeah, he's a lawyer. He wants that money. Uh, because he called kind of frustrated. I'm gonna let your case go. You haven't called me. You haven't sent me the information. So I gave up. And then he called and sounded a little frustrated. Did you get my message? I was like, yeah, your message said you were done with the case. I was just kind of, all right. And he was like, no, well, there is a time limit on it and we need to get to it. And I'm like, all right. He's like, when can you do it? I was like, our schedules never met up because, I mean, never synced because of the podcast. And he started asking me about it. And I was just like, okay, what time do you want to meet? And he's like, what time do you have? Told him anytime after 2 today. And he's like, how's 2:30 sound? Nice. Perfect. Um, he wasn't a. We've been trying to do this schedule in sync thing for like 3 months. So it's his fault. Well, would that make it my fault?
You gotta get it done.
What's your fault?
Okay. Yeah. Calls on mornings we're doing the podcast like as soon as we start. Then I'm like looking at you guys. I got the phone here. I got you guys on the screen. Do I answer or do I continue? And usually continue.
I think the world will understand.
Yeah. I hope you guys
It's
understand out
important.
there. Hopefully.
Hopefully, it's important.
I mean, it could be a waste of time. You never know. We'll see soon, I guess. Today.
It's important to at least try.
It's important to that lawyer. He really wants to push to hurry up and do this. We got to get this money. That's what he feels like. We got to get paid. That's exactly what he said. We got to try to get something now if you want to get something. With statute of limitations is up in October. So, yeah,
Better get busy.
that's what he said. Wait, no. That doesn't make sense for me. Yeah. Anyhow, Mark, you got something there?
What?
I
I
thought when I
just
was
read
talking
Rocket.
to. Oh, okay.
You
You
would.
guys get a nice snouser button there.
Oh, yeah. Well, this I don't know why I keep getting tongue tied. Got something here. It's an article about a guy who felt like he should streak. Um, the article says mullet streaker arrested after belly flopping into pond at golf tournament. And I believe I um seen another case like this where he jumped in the pond in Florida, and I was like, okay, Florida news. But this guy in particular, he jumped in a Phoenix Open golf event. It says a man known as the in quote mullet streaker was arrested at the Phoenix Open golf event on Friday after he jumped into the course wearing only speedos and shoes, then belly flopped into the pond. Sean Patrick McConnell, 27, allegedly jumped from the general admission bleachers at the Waste Management Phoenix Open and ran into the course with his arms outstretched. McConnell, sporty and lengthy mullet haircut, then appeared to pole dance on the flagstick at the 16th hole.
Wait, sporty and lengthy mullet?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
what makes?
sporting, like sporting, like
Oh,
TING.
okay. I thought
Sporting
I
a
thought it
lengthy
was like
mullet.
the adjective sporty, like
Oh,
ty. Then that
not
in
this
that
time.
case, I would want to know what exactly they think makes a mullet sporty compared to other mullets, right?
Um,
How would it stand out? But I guess that's not the case. He's just got an average mullet.
It's lengthy.
yeah,
Lengthy.
The
Okay,
Speedo company liked it. Uh,
there we
I
go.
was I was found this guy because the Speedo company liked that he took off running into the
Is it really
golf course.
shrieking if he's wearing a Speedo?
That's what
Well,
I was thinking too.
Yeah,
it
But
looked
at
like
yeah.
the
jeans.
same but at the same time, this is hilarious and makes me think. I'm sorry, I'm tying this back to Jimmy Buffett, of Jimmy Buffett's song Fruitcakes. We need more fruitcakes in this world. One of the chorus line is strutting through the crosswalk naked in the middle of the week.
Mm.
That could be fun depending on the weather.
No, it always sorry, it just sorry, it makes me think of us because we would totally do something like that post-Stickle.
Uh, yeah, this guy planned to do this. I believe he probably planned to do it over ahead of
You know,
time.
and he got the Speedo, so it's not public indecency. He thought
Yeah,
about this.
the Speedo company actually contacted him and gave him free Speedos. And
This
then he wore them
sounds
during the
For
interview.
next time.
So then I looked up this event where he wore them during the interview and told us about the company calling him afterwards. How do companies just find you and call you afterwards? Yeah, he was like, so and so
Whatever
just
social
called me.
media account was the first one to share that event is probably likely um,
to share the
colluding
name.
in some way with the individual, right? It sounds like he probably had a buddy there filming set and ready to go right when he, you know,
Hmm.
pulled it all off. Pulled it off.
Literally.
Hey, how about that? I didn't even realize I was. Yeah,
uh,
Does
yeah.
he have a body worthy of a Speedo?
probably not.
Uh,
Nobody who ever wears a Speedo actually has a body that, like,
is body
yeah,
worth the speedo?
right.
Yeah. Check him out. I sent you the article.
I don't
Um,
wanna.
well, he
Right.
sent it
And
to
now
us too
that the
late.
I'll
link
look.
is there, I can't not click it.
Can't not click
I
on it.
gotta.
I'll finish reading it. It
Mm.
says McConnell, sporting a lengthy mullet haircut, then appeared to pole dance on the flagstick at the 16th hole. From there, he continued through a player access tunnel to the 17th hole. Videos taken by Tyler Drake from ArizonaSports.com and shared on Twitter show McConnell interrupting play, running and waving his arms to encourage the audience to cheer him on. McConnell ignored the commands by the police to exit the course and instead ran toward the water hazard and belly flopped into the water. He ignored police commands to exit the water and swam toward the center. However, he eventually surrendered to the police and was taken into custody. McConnell was booked on charges of trespassing, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey orders from a law enforcement officer, according to Law and Crime.
But not indecency.
I
No.
love the mugshot.
Right. uh yeah. Good picture.
That image showing the belly flop. He really
He
committed.
went for it. Right. He
He
went for
committed
it.
to that belly flop. That was, yeah, he was not holding anything back.
Right.
That, that's
That's why I had to
impressive.
send it because I know you guys would love
I,
that.
yeah. Did
Anyhow,
he
I'll keep
write
reading it.
something on his chest with,
Yeah, he had something. Like I said, this was planned ahead of time. He talked about it. I didn't hear about the full plans, but yeah, go check it out. Yeah, I'll keep reading it though. It says, however, he eventually
up at the
surrendered to
top?
police.
It's
Taken into court into custody, McConnell will be booked on charges of trespassing, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey orders from a law enforcement from law enforcement, according to Law and Crime. He eventually complied and swam to the 18th hole where he was placed under arrest, Scottsdale, Arizona police said in a statement. Mm. Uh, McConnell was not injured and declined medical treatment despite his nickname. He was never at any point naked during the stunt. He was never in physical distress while in the water, police said. He was never naked. Not only is getting into the water illegal, but reclaimed water is not meant for human consumption, police added. Uh. Scottsdale police noted that they produced a public service announcement about why it's important to stay out of the water. And quote, trust me, people, stay out of the water, Scottsdale Fire Department Captain Dave Folio said in the PSA. It's got pesticides, it's got chemicals that run off into the golf course, that run off from the golf
Fertilizer.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fertilizers too.
And then that water's just sitting there all day. Uh,
Mm.
Isn't sitting water not good for you? Oh, I thought she
Standing
was gonna
water.
eat the
Yeah,
Oh,
stream.
so that's why the turtles come all the way over to this side of the street.
yeah,
It's
probably.
You
because the
live.
golf course on the other side of the street is terrible.
Yeah,
Mm.
probably.
You you guys see wild turtles often?
Uh,
No.
Yeah, yes. You should read my stories sometimes. I'm thinking
Oh,
coming out with another one called Bug the Turtle Hunter.
Oh.
I'm gonna check that out.
AJ, right?
Huh?
AJ's AJ the turtle.
AJ
Turtles.
is a turtle. Yeah, turtle.
Yeah. Shout out to AJ.
Turtles are awesome. And we have box turtles, and they're endangered here, and they have an extremely tiny territory.
Are
It's
turtles territorial?
no, it's just
They're just slow.
Mm.
Um,
uh,
and when there's not many of them, that kind of means that they can't really
last summer we
flee.
didn't have this issue. Last summer wasn't as rainy. This summer, though, it's been very rainy. And it's been box turtle heaven. It's like, are you sure this is this? Oh crap! I can't remember if they're endangered or what's the one before endangered?
Threatened?
uh,
There's critically endangered, which is the worst. Endangered, and is it just protected? Might just be protected.
Well,
Might
I
be.
think protected is a status that they give to endangered animals.
My mind
Threatened,
is not coming up. I
maybe.
know all this information, which is
There's,
weird.
mm,
um,
I just
Mark,
can't.
you got any articles there?
I
Yeah.
got a few.
Nice. I
Well,
got some, but go ahead.
le- um, 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 actually, same
Did I go?
or here. Um, new, wait, the ads on this place are horrible. It's hard to even read anything. Okay. So from New York, um, I don't know. Excuse me. I'm sorry. My throat is all gunky or something this morning. I don't know what's up. Um, Mom Donnie's city-owned grocery stores won't ask for ID, meaning non-New Yorkers can buy cheap goods. Yeah, he's got a plan to provide um, city funded grocery stores that will sell um, certain goods at 30% below market value um, as part of his plan to help, I don't know, help destroy New York. Um, but he's also part of the New Yorker or the New York mayor's. I think his predecessor too. Their during the Biden administration, were one of the sanctuary cities, as they were being called. So um, the with the open border, they were bringing um, individuals over to New York City without any ID, without being a citizen, and providing them all kinds of, So part of that is this, right? How do they um, how do they get fed? And so the plan is this, right? Or this plus other stuff or whatever, right? So um, if um, if you are going to continue being a sanctuary city or whatever for the illegal immigrants, um, prohibiting and impeding ICE agents from coming and performing their job, then these individuals can't be required to have IDs, right? Because that would immediately out them, so to speak, as non citizens, non US citizens, and then, you know, easy peasy, just go and uh, send them back over the border. Um,
So they're using the word sanctuary cities as a trap, basically.
I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't necessarily say trap.
You
Well,
said
they
they
wouldn't
aren't allowed
necessarily.
to impede ICE in any way. That sounds like a trap.
They're trying to. Um, the city is trying to provide illegal immigrants a place to live without the concern of being deported by ICE
Good
and
on
sent
them.
back over.
But you
So
said that
those were,
ICE is allowed to be there.
well, ICE is a federal agency. No, like, city mayor has the authority to say no. But um, the during the Biden administration with the open borders, there were a handful of cities that just outright said, "Bring these um, people here, and we will protect and provide for them at the expense of our own citizens." So New York is one of those cities. Um,
Is Charlotte?
I don't believe so. I'm not
I
sure.
wish it was.
Um, these are a major problem because um, it's going to undercut and entirely eliminate the ability of individual small business owners to operate when you've got organized government run programs providing a direct competition to your inventory at 30% below what
It sounds
you
like paid
provide.
soup kitchen.
Huh?
It sounds like a paid soup kitchen. It's probably not going to be the best quality.
It's not, it's more akin to well, being government run, government organized, and taxpayer subsidized, it's more akin to, well, I don't know. I'll read the article and then.
Sorry.
Well, no, I started. I should have just read the article before trying to explain some of this, but I believe this is a major problem. I believe this is going to destroy New York City. Um, yeah, I do not believe those people should be there. Um, and that, well, okay, I said I should read it, so I'll read it. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Honestly, I thought you started reading it.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani's promised city-owned grocery stores won't require ID from shoppers. His administration confirmed on Monday, allowing non-New Yorkers to take advantage of the discounted goods. The five taxpayer subsidized stores, which are all set to sell a core basket of goods at 30% below retail price, will offer a free voluntary membership card program, though documents show it will not require a residency check. Mamdani administration officials revealed the membership program last week when facing questions from reporters about how they'd stop bad actors from buying in bulk and taking advantage of the deals on offer. The officials insisted they were focused on offering discounts to quote, everyday New Yorkers, despite the savings card being a voluntary program and not a requirement to enter the store. Quote, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be a sort of library card-esque thing, and we also manage who's buying and that it is focused on everyday New Yorkers. Jenny Pack, the interim president and CEO of the New York City Economic Development Corporation, said on July 27. The admin's quote, request for proposal documents seeking contact offers from businesses interested in operating the stores provide additional information on the quote, savings card program, including that it must be, quote, made easily available to any individual requesting it and does not require proof of residency, contrary to reports.
I take back my soup kitchen analogy.
An administration spokesperson said that the program would function like a normal supermarket loyalty program to be designed by the private operator of the store to help manage supply and prevent reselling. Quote, the NYC grocery stores will be open to everyone. There will be no system to verify identity, residency, or income, and no one will be asked to show ID to shop, the City Hall rep confirmed in a statement to the Post. Mamdani has earmarked $70 million for construction of the city-owned supermarkets and has vowed to open one in each borough. Only 2 out of the 5 promised stores have specific locations finalized so far, and the first one in Hunts Point, the Bronx, won't open until at least 2027. So that appears to be the end of the article. Um, there. Um, I believe this is a major problem because a supermarket that is, well, the only way that a supermarket that is, quote, supposed to operate like a normal everyday supermarket loyalty card program designed by the private operator of the store, um, the only way that would work and be able to consistently provide 30% below actual market value is to use taxpayer money to like bridge that gap. And in doing so, they're going to be undercutting all of the existing bodegas, all of the small supermarkets, all of the small business owners. Um, they're not going to be able to lower their prices by 30% to compete. They're just going to be wiped out. And options, once those businesses have all been eliminated, nobody will have any choice except to buy from the city. The city's supermarkets, their loyalty cards, they will be in control of the supermarket industry. Uh,
Basically,
that
there's going to be
is,
tourist prices.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, so basically, there's going to be tourist prices,
I'm not sure what you mean by tourist prices.
like things that are more expensive because this is a tourist area or this and that. People who aren't from there basically are going to be tourists, and then they're going to be
Yeah,
charged more.
but
Is basically what you're saying.
they're not requiring residency. That's my major shtick, is they're not requiring proof of
Um,
residency and applying or even
everyone is from here. They're saying.
showing
Yeah,
like a card of some sort at the supermarket. That's
if they were people
it's just,
like
I'm not quite sure this is right. They're
if they were paying into the taxed system that is providing that, that's a little bit better, but it's still eliminating the existing industry, and all of the small business owners are all getting undercut by a city owned, a government run organization that will control the food supply of an entire city of millions.
I think a lot of this funding would probably be better to be supported into the EBT system,
Yeah, or I
expanding
mean,
that.
anything that is not just destroying an entire like
I mean, a
infrastructure of
part of
small
me is like,
businesses.
I like what you're doing. I like the idea of helping
Yeah,
people, but I don't think this execution is good.
yeah, it's a noble goal. It's a terrible, terrible execution. And I don't know if I necessarily trust the motivations of the individual making this. It's all,
The food stamp system is in every state at some type,
yeah,
whether it's called EBT, food stamps,
EBT, SNAP.
SNAP.
Um,
There's
there's there's
it,
yeah,
it seems better that I think they'd be better to try to expand, use that money to expand that.
yes, yeah. But that would
It's already a
require
structure that's
That would require giving an ID and proving you're a resident, right? Does it?
Most times, yes. I don't think you have to prove you're a citizen, just you're a resident.
Right. So is that something that
You have to prove you live in the state. You don't have to prove that you're a citizen of the state. In
okay,
some instances, it depends on the state.
I don't know.
What's the
I
finger
mean
for?
this is kind of
Because I don't know.
multiple issues all tied up into one. And I think one of them that I believe you and I disagree over is the immigration issue, right?
I think so. We don't
Yeah,
have to get into that. We know we're
right.
on two sides of the coin for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not what we're going to. So let me know if I'm moving in that
Let's put it
direction.
this way. I don't want to lose a debate today because I'm better at debating over typing than saying it.
I
I
mean,
would lose that debate with you in a heartbeat.
I just talk over people. I don't know if I actually win debates, you
No,
know.
but you have a lot of knowledge.
Well, I this is not a an issue that a debate could definitively settle either way. So I don't think
No,
that. But the supermarkets, I think, are something that can be and probably should be more explored because I don't know, it's
and where are they getting their produce from?
the same place everybody else is. They're just using taxpayer money to
I don't know.
offer it.
I mean, Walmart brand gets their stuff from other places than Harris Teeter brand or Smith or Kroger's or
Yeah.
whichever, whatever it is.
So they're gonna get it from wholesalers and suppliers, farmers, wherever, and they're gonna get it at the same prices that all of the private businesses are. They're just gonna use the taxpayers' money to offer it at a price that no um, no private business can meet and make a profit at, which, that I don't trust a man who has openly um, talked about and like been self-described communist. I mean, a plan like this seems almost designed to give government control of,
What I'm eating.
yeah, of the supermarket industry, of the food supply, and that, I mean, it's not
The
going
soup
and like a
kitchens were
revolution.
actively feeding people.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, my brain jumped back to the food kitchen analogy. Food kitchens were different. They popped up and they physically fed the person and the person left.
Yeah.
They weren't buying the food.
Well, I don't know. I think that food kitchens probably do a much better job of feeding actual hungry people on the streets,
That
like
too.
dollar for dollar, than any government has ever been able to. I don't I don't
Or
trust the government
soup
to be
kitchens,
able
I meant.
to.
Food kitchens are um kind of like many, well, they're like UNCC has a food kitchen where if on certain days, if you need something, you can go in and you can get not name brand, but store brand mac and cheese, Bach macs and cheese, and
Yeah,
applesauce cans. Um,
yeah. And there are,
that
I
stuff
mean,
was
there's
donated.
also, sorry, I mean, yeah, sorry, there's also uh, churches and religious organizations
That
that
do that.
that take collections and operate food kitchens.
There's a food
Um,
truck that goes around that's run by one of the I think it's one of the churches.
that's a pretty cool idea. That's a really cool idea. Um, yeah, and I think dollar for dollar, they're probably getting more hungry people fed than um, the government uh, supermarkets are. I mean, they're just operating a business. They're not feeding hungry people.
I'm sorry, I'd
They're,
rather go to my Walmart with my EBT card than go to this government place with my EBT card. It just seems
well,
I
they're making
I
up
just
their own special membership card that, you know, isn't an ID, but it's like a library card esque thing. You can't call it an ID because they've made it like the sanctuary aspect of their city to be like ID free. You know,
yeah, but
no
it's still like a
IDs.
library card type thing. You
Well,
would still need
that's
a library card to check out a book.
yeah, that's
Go
too
to
close. I
the
mean,
use a library card to check out your groceries.
right. And even that seems dangerously close to being an ID card, right? They've still got your name. They know who you are, but they're not going to take a um I'm sorry.
I don't trust the honesty of people.
One of the dispensaries just had an advertisement pop up right there
That's
on
okay.
it.
I just got a text.
Google knows me, and that distracted.
Love you
Um,
guys.
but um, yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about this.
It definitely doesn't seem like the local stores will be able to compete,
Uh,
which will be very bad.
Yeah, I have not. I do not know of any examples where a government has taken control of the citizens' food supply and things have turned out great for the citizens. You know, when they control
Who
um,
gets what when?
yeah, that's, you know, they're not calling it communism, but that is communism. Um, there's a concept in political science called socialism, which is basically just the slow erosion of democratic processes, and slowly making um, a country more and more socialist, communist over time, instead of a big revolution all at once. Um, and so I mean, that sounds exactly like what Mamdani is doing, slowly eroding away uh, New York City into who knows what. But I don't think that it's going to be pretty. Um, get out now if you're in New York. The smart people, the rich richest have left if they're able. Well, if they're not all of them, I guess I shouldn't say it like that, but there has been a lot of people fleeing because he's also um, controlling rent, freezing rent,
Yeah.
um, and that's another, his government taking control of the housing supply. That's another, I mean, huge feature of communism, socialism. It's, socialism is just a more palatable word for communism. It's the same concept, just dressed up slightly differently, executed a little differently. Um,
Did these have anything to do with the other article? I don't know. There was something you sent. There was like three articles. Uh,
there's
this might not have anything to do with it, but
I don't know. You sent a lot of stuff. I got
yeah, because I was gonna be late.
mm,
Uh, said here's a topic that has multiple articles worth comparing.
uh,
You don't remember that?
I see that. I'm looking at that right now.
Oh,
Hold on.
yeah,
Yeah,
all these
yeah, yeah.
250,000 non-citizens on voter ballots. I mean, yeah, basically
Yeah,
voting. Hmm.
that was yeah.
You
If you
you put
don't,
it there.
if your city is, ID free, then um, it seems like it could be trivially easy for non-citizens to come in and just start voting. Um, I don't know, but here they from NPR. Um, Trump's claims of 250,000 non-U.S. citizens on voter rolls leave some states baffled. Yes. Well, Trump will claim a huge number. NPR will say Trump's crazy. And the truth is probably somewhere in between. But let's see what NPR says about Trump. 2 weeks after Trump officials said they had found more than 250,000 non US citizens on voter rolls in just 4 states, election officials are still struggling to understand where the numbers came from and what the claims may portend for federal interference in this year's midterms. Multiple state officials told NPR they fear these unverified numbers or similar ones unveiled closer to the general election could be used as a pretext for warrants to allow law enforcement to interfere in vote counting. Several, several reviews in recent years have found that actual voting by non-citizens is extremely rare, and they have a link there to another article. I'm wondering, but okay. Department of Homeland Security, which oversaw the voter roll analysis of 4 states, California, Nevada, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, asked asked the states to respond to allegations by Thursday, but the agency has not explained its methodology or provided the states with clarity on how it came to its conclusions. That should not be a separate sentence there. But it's not good to begin a sentence with the word but, and you can just change that period to a comma,
I'm gonna have you
change that
proofread my
capital
book.
B to a lowercase b, and the sentence is far better. The punctuation would make much more sense. Shame on NPR.
I need you
Okay.
to proofread my book.
Well,
I'm
uh,
serious.
yeah, will
We'll talk
do.
about that.
Yeah. Um, quote, these numbers, until they're backed up by any kind of clear, transparent methodology, should be considered made up, said David Becker, the executive director of the Center for Election Innovation and Research. Wait, what? Transparent methodology should be considered. Okay. Okay. Um, At least three of the four states' top election officials wrote back to Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen. That's a cool name. Mark Wayne? I didn't know that was a name, like an actual name. Just take Mark and Wayne and stick them together into one. Yeah, cool. Raising questions about the accuracy of the numbers and demanding answers on how DHS did the analysis. Well, yeah, you show how you get to the numbers if you want people to take you seriously. Um, yeah. Making matters even more puzzling, the Department of Justice previously sued all four states, along with more than 24 more, for refusing to turn over versions of their voter rolls that include voters' partial social security numbers and driver's license numbers. Those lawsuits have so far been unsuccessful. Okay, but why would they not turn those over, right? If they're all above board, if they're like well executed, I'm not even assuming or implying any sort of malice there. Just they might just be hiding the fact that their state has been um, like dropping the ball on uh, some elections or whatever. But I guess that might turn out to change election results if they're gone so far as to tip a balance. If some of these states were so close that it's possible that their like electoral college votes were cast in the wrong direction. But then, like, what would that? Why would it matter? And if they're so far in the past, but we should know, right? If they're doing it well or not. They should be called out if they're not running elections well, right? If they're not keeping track of everything in a way that guarantees that the elections are like correctly reflective of the voters' wishes, wills, right? I don't know. I don't even remember where I was in the sentence or in the article.
It says the letters say DHS analyzed.
Okay, the letters say DHS analyzed publicly available voter rolls in the four states, but voter rolls don't include social security. Oh, those shouldn't be separate sentences. Not a period. Make it a comma. Come on, guys. But public voter rolls don't include social security numbers, and the letters say the agency found around 118,000 voters combined in those states whose, quote, name, date of birth, address, and social security number match a non citizen in our files, raising questions about how DHS obtained voters' social security numbers. Wait, what? Those are the questions that they're raising? Hold on. The letters say, wait, some of the. Yet Mullen's letters to the states indicate his agency somehow obtained some of that sensitive data anyway. The letters say DHS analyzed publicly available voter rolls in the 4 states. Okay, publicly available voter rolls. But public voter rolls don't include social security numbers, and the letters say the agency found 118,000 voters combined in those states whose, quote, name, date of birth, address, and social security number match a non-citizen in our files. Okay, raising questions about how DHS obtained voters' social security numbers. I think that's not the question that is raised by that information being identified. I think the question is why are those voters on the voter rolls? Why are they registered if they are non-citizens? And who and what did they vote for? And why are they resisting so hard to like do something so simple as just making sure that the people who vote in our elections are actual people, actual citizens, right?
I was going to say they're people, they're just not citizens. There you go. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, voter fraud by if you can vote by mail, you don't
Yeah.
necessarily
You don't
have
even need to be a
all like
person.
right. You can. It's like like I don't know. You can. There's been I don't know, if you watch the movies and TV shows, you go and you look for obituaries of people who are like dead recently or whatever, and you find their names, and then you go and get their like get a replacement birth certificate with their name instead of yours, and tell the government that you're actually that person, and whatnot, and then that leads in the whole chain of fraud to like, yeah, it's possible that entirely made up people might be entered onto voter rolls if you are not checking out what is happening in that whole chain of how did people get onto, right? Why would you not just say, here it is, here's the information you want? Okay, so yeah,
You lost track of where you are? I know where you're
no,
at.
I got it. Quote, you're suing me because I wouldn't give you that data, that information. So where did you get it? How did you get it? And is it reliable? Asked Nevada Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar, a Democrat, in an interview with NPR. Those are not the questions that need to be asked.
Mhm.
You're suing because you wouldn't give that data, that information, period. That's the end. That's it. All of those other questions are not, They're all red herrings. Why is this Secretary of State not providing information that should be just simple? If it is accurately reflecting what it is supposed to reflect, then it should just be handed over and be a non-issue. And why is it Democrats that are all, oh, this doesn't make any sense. The DOJ's lawsuit, okay, going back, the DOJ's lawsuit demanding Nevada's voter rolls with voters' personal data is still pending, while federal judges have so far dismissed the suits in California, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and 15 other states. That comma shouldn't have been there, actually. Voter
Mm.
personal data is still pending, no comma, pending, while federal judges have so far dismissed the suits in California, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, comma, and 15 other states. It's Oxford, comma, basic grammar, bad NPR writer. One possibility raised to NPR by election experts is that DHS relied on commercial data from a data broker to attempt to match social security numbers to the voter rolls, but the details are still unknown. Of course, some experts would raise the possibility of criminal or, shady or something or whatever. Like, but that's all a red herring. That shouldn't matter if if the, okay. Previous reviews and data matching efforts on voter rolls that lack a unique identifier like a social security number have been notoriously error prone, Becker noted. There's no credible way to do this without creating an ungodly number of false positives, he said. Why? Why is that necessarily the case? I don't see that as being a given. He's just trying to not do it. Yeah, there is no reason that that would be true. He would need to explain and um, actually justify why there would be no credible way to do that, why there would be an ungodly number of false positives, because that's not given necessarily. So, anyway, furthermore, efforts to identify non citizens on voter rolls frequently begin with inflated preliminary numbers that shrink down dramatically once investigations determined that many of the suspected non citizens have become U.S. citizens. So what? Aguilar noted that DHS has not provided him with the names of the Nevada registered voters, and the agency claims may. Oh, wait. The agency claims may be non citizen. I'm sorry. Aguilar noted that DHS has not provided him with the names of the Nevada registered voters the agency claims may be non citizens. Quote, until I actually see the data, I can't do anything about it, Aguilar said. No, they asked for the voter rolls. That is the data so he doesn't need to see any of the data they're requesting in order to provide the data that was requested. No. Um,
This is a
okay.
long article. I was looking at the rest of it.
Uh,
Uh,
you wanna,
no, go ahead. Uh,
well, I don't know.
have you scrolled down?
I have not, but it's all it's all like this. It's all gonna be like this. Just them saying thing like throwing out red herring after red herring, making claims about why they can't do their jobs without any actual real world reason that it is impossible for them to execute a simple request for information. This could have been done by a computer with like a simple search. There, yeah, there should not be this much pushback. Unless, I mean, I mean, why? Why? Uh, that's the big like. Why is it so difficult for them? Why would and if it's not that difficult for them, then why are they actively and maliciously pushing back on it? Because either way, either they're incompetent or they are like malicious and trying to commit voter fraud.
Don't let these people get to you, Mark.
Uh,
Uh,
no, but it
the
is a real
punctuation
it
is
is a
getting to me.
real
Like,
problem. It is a real world problem, and it's uh, okay. DHS did not respond to NPR's questions about the methodology used to come up with the 250,000 figure. Yet its allegations cast a shadow on more than just the four impacted states, as Election Day looms in fewer than 100 days. In a July 17 press conference, Mullen promised more of these sorts of announcements and investigations in weeks to come. Yeah, of course. They'll throw out big inflated numbers and I mean, yeah, they're trying to provoke the um, Trump and the establishment, the organizational side. They're trying to provoke and make their opponents seem unreasonable, seem that much more unreasonable, right? If they're not going to give this information, and he knows that they're not going to give this information anyway, uh, why not inflate the numbers so much that, it makes them angry and gives them another reason to push back? I don't know. I don't, yeah, I can see that's a valid question. What is the methodology to get to 250,000? And yeah, it is normal for big numbers to slowly be whittled down after investigations. But there have also been cases where numbers have gone up after more careful inspection. So I don't think that it's necessarily fair for them to make that statement and imply that it's automatically something that we should assume will go down. It's just a number. It's a starting point for whatever political maneuvering is being done. It's okay. Quote, we will pursue maximum pressure on this, he said. We will be proactively looking at early voting and then after post-election. We will continue to scrub all those that did vote. Okay, yeah. Mullen also threatened prison time for state election officials who, quote, choose not to participate in securing the elections. Uh, One state election official who spoke to NPR on the condition of anonymity because they were not permitted to speak publicly said they worried the administration planned to use similar analyses after the election as a means to interfere with the vote counting process. Uh, I mean,
Where do you find this articles at, man?
NPR.
Yeah, these are like data reports. A report that they would have like 60 papers to. Um, those files they break out and take to court, and 1,000 pages. You got to read it. This is one of those articles.
That's what it feels like. Yeah. But I mean, is NPR is kind of like, and
They
is
give
kind of
you
like
the
Fox
tea and they
News,
give you.
like Fox News on the right and NPR on the left, sort of. It's going to be as unforgiving towards Trump and any administration as they possibly can. They're going to criticize as hard um, as they're able, which is fair enough. They're not necessarily, um, I don't know. I haven't seen anything so far that seems to indicate that they're trying to present themselves as um, like objectively unbiased. Um, but quote, the thing is, we really fear, the official said. Let's say they get a friendly judge somewhere to issue subpoenas the day after the election. So, like November 4, we have really close races. Then the DOJ, FBI come knocking on one of our county doors and they say, we believe there's hijinks going on. We're going to confiscate all the ballots so we can count them. What official were they talking to that talks like that?
I thought they
Um,
already like take the votes and count them twice and
they
all
should,
those stuff.
right?
Mm.
They should be careful about counting them. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think there is some merit to what they're saying there. Like federal officials coming in to confiscate county level elections. But if they're all on the same ballot, then what else are they going to do? So I don't know. And everybody knows they're all going to be on the same ballot. So I'm not sure how how much merit I would necessarily give to that argument. It doesn't seem like it has much weight to it in my mind. But depending on the timing of such an order, the official said, it's possible voting officials wouldn't be able to confidently know how many ballots were returned in the first place. I mean, California can never know how many ballots were returned. It takes them weeks to figure out just one election.
I
Um,
was just looking at it. California was one. Yeah. Your
yeah,
facts are right. I was just looking at the map.
they could do so much, quote, they could do so much damage if they did that, the official said. Similar fears have been circulating among voting officials since the FBI seized 2020 election ballots in Fulton County, Georgia in January. The search warrant was executed using an affidavit that relied on misinformation. And oopsie poopsie, Justin Levitt, a law professor at Loyola Marymount University and former Biden administration advisor, said he takes it, quote, as a given that this administration is interested in sowing a little bit of chaos and in holding the door open. And there's a gap. Dot, dot, dot. What is missing there? Why are they leaving something out? NPR, uh, leaving the door open for potential interference. So the fact that there's a gap there, what did he say? I don't know. I don't know if that's even what he was actually saying. I mean, they're manipulating
You think those three
people.
periods are accident?
Yeah, I mean that ellipsis there, there was something that he said in the middle of that sentence that they left out,
Hmm.
which is particularly ironic because the sentence it was saying holding the door open for potential interference. The sentence says, which has actively been obviously interfered with in order to say what they want it to say. I mean,
I love
uh,
listening to you read articles.
Yeah,
it's,
I like to hear you. Yeah, what she said.
I
I
wish
can tell
that
what frustrates you and what does not.
I wish I would be I wish it could be work without getting so frustrated.
It's understandable. I seen the dot dot dot, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I know he's gonna say something about this because obvious reasons. Dot 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 out of nowhere. I was waiting for you to get to that point, but go ahead.
Yeah,
You got there,
he
and it happened just like I thought it would.
he compared the 250,000 figure to a quote prop the administration could use to justify taking action and attempting to interfere. Uh, I mean, there's a little bit of merit to that, I think. Um, but that doesn't mean that the underlying request or that that there's actual truth behind the figure. It may be inflated to make a point, but that doesn't mean that it's entirely invalid. It's a starting point to look at what happened and what's going on. Excuse me. Um, prop the administration could use to justify taking action and attempting to interfere. Quote, but that doesn't mean action is going to happen, Levitt said, noting that other steps would need to happen before ballots could be seized, such as convincing a federal judge to go along with an unprecedented plan. He said, while it makes sense for election officials to plan for such possibilities, he believes they are unlikely. What? So he thinks it makes sense for election officials to interfere with, impede the um transfer of uh, I don't know.
Um,
This whole thing would be so much simpler if they just hand over the information. And why is that I mean, why is the big question, right? Why is it not happening? I don't know.
hmm.
The 250,000 figure, if he says it's a prop the administration is using to justify taking action, attempting to interfere. If it's so far out of the realm of reality, why not just hand over the ballot and prove how far off base it actually is? Show how absurd the Trump administration's numbers actually are. That would be easy if it was true. And I'm not saying I believe either side. I want to straddle that fence just because I don't want people to be mean to me. No, but it's okay. So DHS seems to acknowledge its numbers could be wrong. What? Okay. While a
Um,
DHS fact,
Mark,
huh?
uh, that's like that's the halfway point. You
Okay.
wanna
I need to
you
pee.
yeah, go do that.
Yeah. You needed to hear that too, right? Give you that information provided.
Uh,
Yeah.
Very good to know.
thanks. Handle that.
Yeah.
Uh, sorry for the delay, you guys. Everybody out there watching, press that thumbs up. That was the halfway point of the article. Uh, yeah. And at the top, there's an audio. We could have actually listened to it. It's actually a 3-minute read, which is hilarious. Yeah. Uh,
They must be reading really fast.
and they don't explain what's happening. Um, and then they don't explain how the punctuation isn't right. You got to point things out like that. Um, Mark needs that, so you got to give it to him, or we're going to talk about it. And this is online, so probably more than Mark's noticed there was punctuation was horrible. Uh, and I was reading it as he was going, and I was like, he's gonna not like that. That dot 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 when somebody was explaining something, it just looks like you're hiding something in between there. And he stopped and responded just like I thought he was. On point. Um,
Mark's always on point.
yeah, sometimes that the run-on sentences and periods and commas where they're needed and not where they're supposed to be. I understand what he means because I read a lot. And yeah, read a lot online and a lot of run-on sentences these days. People
Oh my
do
God.
not
Yeah.
punctuate good online.
Yeah. Well, the
I
education
got
system does not do um what the English language just service. It's not. Yeah. I don't. That's a different a different topic to get angry
I got a
about.
topic. I got a whole article.
Oh.
It says Florida news. No,
Mm-mm.
I'm saying Florida news. It doesn't say that, but I'm letting you know it's in Florida. I should have just read it because it says Florida man clings to a hood of a car traveling 70 miles per hour. 22-year-old Florida man was caught on camera clinging to the hood of a car traveling 70 miles per hour down Interstate 95 in Miami. Junior Francis held on with one hand while more than 15 miles because he was using the other hand to call the police, according to WPLG. End quote. I actually held on like this. It was with one hand, and with the other hand, I'm holding my phone, listening to hear what's going on with authorities. Francis demonstrated. The car was driven by his on again, off again girlfriend, Patricia Isidore. Francis said both of them needed their car on the night of June 24th, but Isidore beat him to it. End quote. She turned on the engine, dropped it in reverse, and started driving out. And then that's when things took a turn, Francis recalled. Daniel Maida was driving alongside the two when he noticed Francis is on the hood. He pulled out his phone and began recording the incident. Maida captured a glimpse of his car speedometer showing 70 miles per hour. End quote. All I was thinking was, this guy is going to slide off and hit me, slide off the other side, or if anything, he's going to slide down and she's going to hit him, and then she's going to crash into somebody else. Might have told local news. Francis said other drivers tried to intervene when she exited onto Ives Dairy, Ives Dairy Road. It all came to an end in West Park when Francis got out, got the keys out of the ignition. Isidore was arrested and charged with crimes against a person exposing them to harm, but she has since been released from jail. Police told local media Isidore needed the car to pick up their 5-year-old daughter from a relative's home. Francis refused to press charges against the mother of his child and refused to give a sworn statement. That's the end of the article.
That
Uh,
that kid is gonna.
it's like, let's race and see what's more important, see who gets to the car first. Uh, that's a hell of a way to go about it.
That is, yeah, that is gonna be some family dynamic that kid's growing up in.
She's like, no, we
Really
gotta go
interesting.
pick up our kid. He's like, no, we gotta go to the party. And uh, like whoever calls shotgun and gets there first. That's Florida news. Stuff like that happen in Florida often, Mark.
I mean, Florida is a big state. I think third most populous in the country. So that combined with the warm climate makes it a prime location for um, mentally unwell homeless individuals
Mm.
and
I
just
got an
the
article
mentally
about
unwell in general, you know.
I got another Florida news. He might be
Um, More
unwell
Florida.
as well. Yeah.
There's a lot that happens here. Yeah. We
Yeah,
got
this one
rockets
was
too. They're going to be
after
sending
this
up
one.
Falcon Heavies from Florida eventually.
Oh,
They're
so I
they're
won't get to
working
see it.
working on Launchpad. I think they're going to be putting chopsticks to catch them.
Mm.
That'll be a thing. I'm going to have to figure out how to get over there to see that.
Hmm. Florida news. Dad
More.
charged with murder after allegedly admitting to using leaf blower on infant son because he thought it was funny.
What? Oh my
After
God.
Florida man who was allegedly once used leaf blower on his infant son because he thought it was funny has been charged with the child's murder. James Westervelt of Ocala was charged in the August 2024 death of his 6-month-old son, per Marion County Public Court records, and an arrest affidavit obtained by People filed in the Marion County Circuit Court by the Marion County Sheriff's Office in June. This guy. Westervelt, 38 years old, was already in custody on child abuse charges related to the same child per, pub, per public records court records and affidavit. According to the affidavit, MCSO deputies were called to the Westervelt home, reporting of an unresponsive infant in the summer of 2024. The infant was taken to a local hospital and placed on life support, but died several days later, per the outlet. Doctors determined the infant's cause of death was blunt force trauma, consisting with being shaken, though no one was charged with the crime at the time. According to local news, According to local news outlet WESH, police later said the video surfaced showing Westervelt blowing air on the same child with a leaf blower during an incident that took place prior to the infant's later fatal injuries. Authorities said the footage led to the arrest on the child abuse charge. Eventually, Westervelt was arrested in April for the child abuse of the same child. Authorities were able to interview him again while in jail, and it had been a couple of years since he provided his initial statement. He provided enough contradicting evidence. We worked with the state's attorney office to basically charge him with murder, the MCSO said in a statement per the outlet. Investigators also stated that Westervelt's claimed he used the leaf blower on the son because he thought it was funny, according to WCJB. Public court and arrest records show that Westervelt was initially charged with second-degree murder without premeditation, but prosecutors dismissed the charge and refiled a first-degree murder charge with premeditation on Thursday, July 30th. Westervelt's next court appearance in relation to the murder charge is scheduled for September per court records. An attorney for Westervelt did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. If you suspect child abuse, call Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1 800 4 a Child or 1 800 422 4453.
What the
Yeah,
hell is funny about using a leaf blower on a 6-month-old child? Can't comprehend that.
Florida. I'm just kidding. Uh, I'm not going to blame that one on Florida. I don't know why this guy thought it was funny or to even have a video is the reason he actually got caught.
That's just dumb criminals being dumb. But
That's definitely premeditated. You got a video of it.
Well,
Uh,
and if he
the
did it
person recording
before,
should be arrested because they knew this.
well,
You
unless
don't
he
think?
had it like on a tripod or something
yeah, he might have recorded
Unlikely,
it
but
himself.
possible. Yeah,
for the
yeah.
links. What?
Uh, no one liked the kid died, so he didn't get those likes. And him thinking it was funny was the part that just kept catching my attention. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Mm-mm-mm.
it also said that the child had blunt force trauma from being shaken. So it's not just the one event. It doesn't sound like.
Mm. Yeah, now that you say that, I remember that part too. Uh, Anything else on that? Because I believe Mark had an article about something you wanted to read next.
I mean,
Oh, you're not ready to move on from that one. I was asking, did you guys have anything left to say? Oh man, my
I
back is
don't
I'm
hurting.
know.
just disgusted.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, I just also noticed something right here on that NPR article about the 250,000 non citizen number. Like right where we were at, the very next sentence um, or next paragraph, um, just DHS seems to acknowledge its numbers could be wrong, right? So while a DHS fact sheet plainly stated that over 250,000 non citizens were illegally registered to vote in the four states, Mullins' letters are much less definitive. Instead, they characterize the analysis as, quote, a preliminary review, and the tally of citizens identified in each state as only a potential number. The letters also said a much smaller figure, 118,003 in the four states. That three is very, very specific. Combined, had matched the name, date of birth, address, and social security number of a non-citizen in the DHS records. That's right where we stopped. So you said that was halfway point in the article, halfway through. So
Halfway to halfway.
yeah, it took NPR like half of the article talking about DHS is, 250,000, big number. They don't know what they're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. Their real number is much lower. Halfway through, they finally say that the DHS actually did characterize the analysis as a preliminary review and acknowledged that, yeah, they've acknowledged that the real number is also much smaller. Exactly what NPR was saying up there, that the real number, if there is a real number that any of these states would be willing to hand over, is likely far smaller than anything that the DHS says. So it's clearly and obviously just designed to whip up the emotions of the people who already agree with this article. It's not meant to actually inform anybody or provide any novel information. If it was, they would be upfront with the actual number. They would give it right up top. The DHS states over 250,000, and then a preliminary review um, gives a much smaller number, which the organization and the head of the organization himself provides. But no, NPR insists on saying that they know that this is all whatever, blah blah blah, and then after all of this, I mean, yeah. So can you see why I said that NPR is like for the left, like like Fox News is for the right, the Republicans? It's just giving them information that they already agree with emotionally, and um,
Is there
yeah,
actually any unbiased media at this point in life?
no, no. Everything is propaganda. Everything that yeah, especially any mainstream news articles, CNN, NPR, um, pretty pretty definitively on the left, um, and yeah, Fox News clearly definitively on the right. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if do any of them even bother trying to present themselves as such, like as actual unbiased. I mean, I don't know.
I think they
I
all
don't
would
watch
like
the
to be
news.
seen that way.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Fox News even cares about that. I think they're pretty unapologetically like Republican
I would agree with
pandering.
that one for sure.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that like CNN, NBC, uh, you know, um, they try to present themselves as maybe more center. Um, I I don't know. I would still consider them like maybe center left, not objective, but not not as far like NPR. I think is pretty blatantly left, unapologetically, um, for this exact reason here. Um,
yeah. Did you see the little tab on the side? Because so far, when I said it's halfway, it literally is halfway. The tab is in the middle.
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes those things like end up with like a whole bunch of advertisements down at the bottom. So I'm not sure if that.
It doesn't.
Oh
I
yeah, there
checked.
are. Yeah, yeah. So it's about halfway through. I don't know. It's there. The whole thing should be a non-issue, and yeah, if
Someone
it
went to
was
get the reports and they put it all together.
if
Yeah.
it was actually trying to inform people, then this information would be up top, up front. It's meant to stir up emotion, um, not to inform. So yeah, that's that's I don't know. If I keep reading, I'm just gonna keep basically repeating that. They've let the mask slip. They've shown their cards here. It's like, okay, here we go. And so whatever left in the article is just going to be grammar checking at most. Like we know what they're gonna
Yeah.
what they're gonna be saying
I
and
know
talking
you.
about. Huh?
Said I know you.
I mean,
Uh, they actually have the audio you could have played, and
ah,
it's actually a 3 minute read, and you wouldn't have had to worry about those
well,
periods and commas and all that
well,
stuff.
if they're like auto generating the voice, it might not. It might. I don't know. The computer generated voice, if it's playing off of bad grammar, might not. I don't know. And if it doesn't catch the bad grammar, then we're missing out on some. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
can't argue with that one.
I like catching like big news outlets with. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like
every now and then I catch one of
English Comp
those.
1, like freshman year college level information.
Um, I had something else that
That's
I was gonna ask you to
that's what they
read.
get. That's what they get for hiring poli sci majors instead of, you know, what communication. You would want a good communicator if you're a news outlet, right? But they
You would
go
think
for,
so.
yeah, they go for, yeah, political science major, political analysts.
Um, yeah, I did have an article here I wanted Mark to read. Um,
Uh,
but
okay.
I'm not sure if you read it already. Okay.
What?
Think this we have. Never mind. We've talked about that one. But yeah, I got a lot of articles here. You want me to just go down
Um,
the line?
there's, I don't know, there's other, there's CNN has an article about New Jersey. 6,600 non-citizens mistakenly added to New Jersey voter rolls and nearly 400 cast ballots. Governor says this is actual like real
News.
real incompetence or worse. Um, about 6,600 non-citizens were accidentally added to New Jersey's voter rolls, and about 400 cast improper ballots in recent elections, the state governor announced Tuesday. Governor Mickey Sherrill, a Democrat, said that this stemmed from a, quote, serious software glitch at the Motor Vehicle Commission that began in 2023, which was before she took office. Not her fault. She said that even though these people indicated while applying for a driver's license that they weren't citizens, they were registered as voters, quote, through no fault of their own. Are you sure about that? Um, I don't know if it was at all, if they can trace every single one of them all back to a software glitch, then sure, I would grant that. But the fact that 400 of them went on to actually vote would suggest that it's not entirely through no fault of their own if they went on to exercise what they registered for. That's not an oopsie. The governor made the surprise disclosure just 5 days after President Donald Trump's address to the nation, where he claimed there are far more non citizens on the rolls than previously known. Yes, at least 400 more than were previously known. Quote, as the Trump administration tries to weaponize elections for political gain, I am ensuring we protect our elections. The difference is simple. When we find a problem, we don't hide it, deny it, or invent conspiracies. We investigate it, we fix it, and we tell the public to close decks. Okay. Cheryl's announcement validates some of Trump's assertions from his primetime speech and gives him a potent new data point in his push for further scrutiny of state voter rolls. It will also surely be touted by his allies who have pushed for more aggressive citizenship checks and other measures to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting in U.S. elections. I mean, why would that even be controversial?
Why aggressive?
Hmm. Wait, aggressive? Because they shouldn't be voting. If you're not a citizen, you don't get to vote in our elections. That's like, I don't see why that's controversial.
Go ahead. It isn't
Except
controversial.
except if they're, trying to sway elections, trying to give voting rights to individuals they believe will then go on to vote in their favor in the next election. They're giving them all these rights. They're giving them, voting rights. They're giving them supermarkets that undercut local businesses owned by actual citizens who have been working hard their entire lives to try to build up from, um, yeah,
I hear where you're coming from.
vote for the person
I
who's
asked the question, you
giving you,
answered.
yeah, they're buying
Thank you.
votes at the expense of existing citizens and voters who actually deserve a vote in the system. Every single one of them that is allowed to vote is canceling out the legal right of a legal citizen. Mm, yeah, none of them should be voting in the U.S. elections. period.
Were you done with that article?
No. Quote, as President
Just
Trump has
checking.
said, there is nothing more important than the integrity of our elections. And this latest incident, those shouldn't be separate sentences. And this latest incident underscores the absolute necessity of the Save America Act. The White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said in a statement, referring to legislation stalled in Congress that would require proof of citizenship for voter registrations, among other new restrictions. I don't know why that wasn't already a requirement. You have to show ID to buy liquor. Why are we scrutinizing citizens harder to buy alcohol than we are to participate in elections that then go on to determine laws that, all of us have to live under, taxes that all of us have to then go on to pay, benefits to individuals that we then all have to fund, whether they're legally here or not. They get to vote for it, though. Um, Cheryl's explanation also underscored what election officials have said for years. When non citizens get into the voter rolls, it's usually accidental or unintentional. If 400 go on
You
to exercise the right,
get asked
that,
all the time, at least where I live. Do you want to register?
yeah,
So yes, I can definitely see how it can be accidental.
right. They, yeah, if it's accidental, then they wouldn't then know to go on and vote, would they?
It doesn't actually say that they actually voted.
Yes, it has. It's 400. 400 went on to actually vote. So it can't all be accidental or unintentional. It's not, oops, I didn't know. I didn't know I was registered to vote. It was a software glitch. I didn't, if they then went and said,
Or they were expecting to
yes,
say,
I
"Oh,
want
wait,
this
no, you
person.
can't vote," and then surprised one day we're saying, "Okay, here's your vote. Here's where you should go vote," and they're like, "Oh, I'm actually eligible to vote," and go vote.
I
Mm.
think you're giving too much credit.
People's
Cheryl's explanation,
intelligence, probably.
huh?
The people's intelligence, probably.
No, the goodwill of those who have participated in the system.
How much? How many votes was that again?
400 is what they've
400 across
identified.
of how many states?
This is from New Jersey. 6,000 were identified, but they're not handing over the entire voter rolls. This is just what they're saying, what they're admitting to, not the actual reality, not the totality. Um, yeah, Trump says 250,000, and in reality, that's an initial, his what was it? Mullen guy went in letters behind the scenes. It's really more like something 118,003 voters registered improperly, or illegal immigrants who should not be voting. But this is also a kind of a
Yeah.
bit of a smokescreen, because what Trump is talking about is illegal immigrants being registered to vote. What she's talking about
And
here
what was
is,
the number he gave again?
which number? He said
400.
250,000, and then they've
Oh.
How
said
did he
behind
get
the,
that number?
right, that's what they're saying. But the easier way to disprove that number would be to just hand over the real voter numbers that they're talking. If they handed over the actual data, if it was actually that far off, then they could easily disprove it just by complying with the request to
which
hand
would
over
then
a
negate.
partially anonymized, you know. Uh,
No, I don't see how that could actually make. I mean, that would the sanctity of the ballot box would be destroyed that way.
No, no. What they're asking for is part. I mean, it's partial. Um, um, Partial social security numbers. These are not the actual votes that are being cast. These are who is registered to cast a vote, not what did they vote for. Because they are trying to ensure that only citizens are registered to vote, which should be a simple, easy list to compile and then show. Here are the citizens who are registered to vote. Not what they voted for, who they voted for, any of that business. Not
And the
no
Save America
political
Act
party
gets
affiliations, just,
the
whether
Save
there
America
is
Act
a
actually gets passed. Any woman who's changed her name after getting married, like any good woman should, is gonna have double the difficulty being able to vote. And that was sarcasm, as any good woman should, by
Oh,
making sure
I
that
don't
was that.
I'm not sure I understand, but
You would have to have two forms of identification of your birth name.
oh,
That's gonna be hard. I haven't had my
uh,
birth name since I was freaking 20 years old.
mm,
why? Or why is that? Why, toaster? Why is it
I mean,
twice as difficult?
I, I,
What is the
I'm now toasted, so this is going to be
right?
difficult. Remember, a lot of my brain power goes into taking away broad spectrum. The actual specifics of how get lost.
Right, but the
This is
specifics
something I
are
need to bring up for you
mm,
because this is
go
something that
ahead.
you would love to just go into. Or is that the
Wait,
big
well,
we're in the
beautiful
middle of an
bill?
article
making
right now.
Oh, we
making
are.
a statement like that, like why would the Save America Act necessarily put that burden on women? And like what is the mechanism within the Save America Act that creates that burden? That's what I don't know, what I don't understand, because I mean, while that's important, I think that the integrity of our elections is also massively important. And um, yeah, if citizens have to have two forms of identification, make that make that a
Oh,
unisex
it has two
burden.
forms of
Make
identification that
all
have to um, match the birth certificate.
Well, the
uh,
birth certificate can't be one. Your social security can be one, right?
My
Yeah,
social
but you also
security
have
card
to
doesn't,
have a picture.
Uh,
the social security card doesn't have my birth name on it either. When
yeah.
once you get married, you go and you change all of your IDs, driver's license, social security card, all that.
And it no longer matches your birth certificate. And
Right.
that's the
Mm.
problem.
What does Save America Act change about any of that? How is that any different from what is currently in place? Because if it doesn't change anything, then um, you know, I say we go ahead and the uh yeah, ensuring that non-citizens are prevented from participating in elections in this country is far, far more important than a matter of inconvenience to some citizens. And if that matter of convenience is so bothersome, then apply it to both sexes upon marriage.
Men don't change their names when they get married. Women
Right.
do.
So what? Then apply, make men still have to show two forms of identification after being married. Either way,
But it's
right?
still,
Both
But
but
men
it
and
matches your
women.
birth certificate, so it doesn't
your
matter.
name
Fine.
doesn't.
Give the same inconvenience to both sides, regardless of whether
Hmm.
there's actually a change in name. Make men
I don't think he
as
understands it.
inconvenienced as women. Make it fair, right?
It's
I
not going to
would.
be fair because women's names change and men's don't when they get married usually.
Right. So
Not
what?
everyone, but
So
well,
what?
if you got to if you have
Make men
Because
still
that's the
have to
point.
provide two
that's the
forms
whole
Hmm.
of
point. It doesn't match our
identification.
birth certificate. My birth certificate does not match any of my other ID. Whereas if you had been married
So
or divorced or whatever, you still have your birth name. Women
Yeah.
don't
so
after they get married.
I
I mean,
mean,
this
so
also
that piece
affects
of
gay men.
paper sitting somewhere is so burdensome.
Yes.
What is it about that? I mean,
It's
I
because
didn't
Um.
then
it's because they're requiring it to match your birth certificate, and after you get married, all of
If
your
you were born
identification
in,
change and no longer your
right, but
identification no longer matches your birth certificate.
it
Therefore, you
was
can't
so,
provide any identification that matches your birth certificate.
okay, so you have to prove you were born inside the United States. You do that with your birth certificate.
right. Men do that
S-
too.
Yes,
Um,
men do that too. Now, you have to vote two forms of identification with ID,
okay,
photo ID, I mean,
okay.
that matches your birth certificate name. Because women will change their name last names to suit their husbands, or a gay man might choose to switch his last name to fit his husband.
I mean, that's
That,
no
About a gay
different from
woman.
anybody who changes their name,
yeah,
regardless of
but the
any
majority
marriage.
of the people affected are women, which vote blue.
What?
So it's stacking the election
It's like they're
before it
trying to
even
exclude
begins.
women from they're trying to stack the election like with not allowing as many women to
What?
vote by
That's not true. That is, I mean, you're assuming all women think and vote like you do, and that is
No,
I'm
it's a
not
not
saying
majority.
regardless of party, they're trying that it would be excluding women because it would make it harder for us to be able to vote.
only married women who ended up changing their name, and that can easily be solved by making men equally inconvenienced and require them to show two forms of identification.
It's not
With
about the number of identifications. It's about the fact that we change our name and our identification doesn't match our birth certificate. Therefore, our identification will not be considered okay to use because my last name on my driver's license, well, ID, I don't have a driver's license, but does not match my birth certificate. Therefore, it would make it much harder for me to register and be able to vote.
Much harder
Be-
for you. Okay, so then it's still possible? What is the path for you to still be able to do it if Save
I have no
America Act is
idea
passed?
because I don't have any identification with my birth name on it.
So you think you would be automatically unregistered to vote if Save
Yes,
America Act passes? That automatically everybody has to re-register to vote?
I don't know
I
that part. I
I
think
I
don't
am not
think
informed
so.
on that.
I don't think so.
I can
And
check
if you're
that
not
part.
automatically unregistered to vote, then nothing is changing by passing it. Yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal as you guys are
And
um
I don't think 400 votes in a state that has how many millions of people is going to affect it.
well, this is only a software glitch that they identified. They're not even actually looking at the whole thing.
Oh, so it could probably be zero.
No,
Got it.
it is definitely 6,000
You just said it was a
6,600.
software glitch, though,
No,
which
it is a
means it could be
software
false
glitch that
positives.
resulted in these
Uh,
actual people at the DMV ended up getting registered, even though they were not supposed to.
Oh, that, yeah. But still, my point stands. I don't think 400
I don't think that your
and
point does stand because these people
it
were not
affects a
supposed to be.
million more
No, that's
women
not the
than
point.
just the 400 illegal immigrants.
That's not the point. If these
Then what
are,
is the point?
I was gonna say that. What's the
I
point?
don't know what the point
if
is anymore. That's a
show
good point.
I'm just
show
listening for this
the
point.
voter rolls, if there's nothing wrong with them, why is it a problem to identify who is registered to vote and make sure that they're all citizens?
Mm, it's a lot of
Isn't
I
And
work.
don't think you're
that
if
what?
getting the
that
point, Mark.
isn't okay, then why do you want non-citizens to participate in the
I never
United
said I
States
did.
elections?
I never
Right.
said
I'm
I
not
did
saying that
either.
you did either. I'm asking these rhetorical questions.
Oh, then don't.
Why would
Then
you A, and if not, then that implies B, and why that instead? These are
Why are
two
you not
major,
accepting the fact that women change their names a lot more than men?
because
Therefore, it would
that's a
make it
red
more
herring.
difficult.
That's not what we're discussing here.
That's
That's
what
a
we
Mm,
were
complete
discussing.
That's a complete red herring. What we're talking about is ensuring that citizens, only
mm.
citizens, are allowed to vote in United States elections.
yeah, but this was the article was about the Save America Act and
No,
just went into that small part.
no, no. You joined partway through this
Uh,
article.
More than
Um,
actually, yeah, you
halfway.
are correct. I am sorry for being so um
no, you're fine. You have a
It's all
valid
right.
a valid point, but I don't I don't know.
I jumped. My mind does this so much, and I apologize.
No,
And
no,
I
no
don't
need to
even know what
apologize.
cro
It's just
that caused the jump. Maybe it was
this is
just the fact of talking about voting. That might have just caused the jump.
well, it is.
I don't
We
even
did read
remember where.
another article from NPR previously, before this, that was talking about 250,000. Uh, only halfway through do they actually say that it was not actually ever really 250,000 that Trump was throwing out. It was a preliminary review, and that even after that preliminary review, they're saying the real number is likely much smaller, 118,003, in four states combined, um, had matched the name date of birth, address, and social security number of non-citizens in the DHS records. Non-citizens that are registered to vote, uh, which should not. That so that was making me all angry. I don't know. I was gonna say feisty, but that seems like the wrong
I'm
sort of
feisty today.
connotation. But yeah, so
Uh,
in that same vein,
you gotta
that's
finish
when
this
I
article.
shifted over to this article. Not this was New Jersey was not one of those four, or wait, was it? I don't know if New
It doesn't
Jersey
say
was
the
one of
four.
those four or
If you're
not,
looking at
but
the same article, I am.
the um
The
so
NPR
from
article.
out of that 118,003 non-citizens who are actually registered to vote that the DHS has identified, um, CNN here has said 6,600 non-citizens mistakenly added to New Jersey voter rolls and nearly 400 cast ballots, governor says. So I'm saying if they're mistakenly added to voter rolls, why are they actively casting ballots? I don't think that there's a problem in this whole process that they're not willing to address, and not just not willing to address, they're actively impeding. Um, so that's kind of where we were. About 660,000 or yeah, 6,600 non-citizens were accidentally registered. 400 cast improper ballots in recent elections, the state's governor announced Tuesday. So, yeah, those 400 ballots should never have been in the system. They should never have been cast. That should not have been allowed, period. And that's only what they're like addressing, what they're admitting to, um, or what they've identified and what she's admitting to. Is it she? I don't know. Mickey Mickey Cheryl, Mikie. It's I don't know. I'm sorry, but Governor Cheryl, a Democrat, said this stemmed from a quote serious software glitch at the State Motor Vehicle Commission that began in 2023, which was before she took office. There we go. She said that even though these people indicated while applying for a driver's license that they weren't citizens, they were registered as voters through no fault of their own. The governor made the surprise disclosure just 5 days after President Donald Trump's address to the nation, where he claimed there are far more non citizens on the rolls than previously known. Yeah, at least 6,600 and 400 of them cast ballots. Um, Quote, as the Trump administration tries to weaponize elections for political gain, I am ensuring we protect our elections. Ellipsis, dot, dot, dot. The difference is simple. When we find a problem, we don't hide it, deny it, or invent conspiracies. We investigate it, we fix it, and we tell the public, Cheryl posted on X. Um, sure. Um, Somebody updated the software at the DMV. Good job. Cheryl's announcement made validates some of Trump's assertions from his primetime speech. For CNN to say Trump's some of Trump's assertions were validated is a pretty big deal. Like they don't like Trump at all. So yeah, gives him a potent new data point for his push for further scrutiny of state voter rolls. Yeah, we should look and make sure that non-citizens are not in the voter rolls. I don't know why there's pushback. It will also surely be touted by his allies who have pushed for more aggressive citizenship checks and other measures to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting in the U.S. elections. What is this? Um, was this not like important 10 years ago? Why is this suddenly, you know, no, you can't make sure that only citizens are voting. Quote, as President Trump has said, there is nothing more important than the integrity of our elections. And this latest incident underscores the absolute necessity of the Save America Act. I don't know what's in it, but yeah, I guess I should read it. White
I
House
can tell you one
spokeswoman,
of the things that's in the Save America Act. Okay, I'll
yeah.
shut up.
Well, no, this is where you joined. So that's kind of where we were at. Um, so um, yeah, White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said in a statement referring to legislation stalled in Congress that would require proof of citizenship for voter registrations, among other new restrictions. Um, so one thing that I want to just mention, talk about, are you sure that um, that this burden of proof is actually going to be created by the Save America Act, or is that just what you've been told will happen about, by um, some third party outlet? Because everybody has an
If you're
agenda,
talking
everybody has a
about
side.
if you're talking
Um,
about like NBC News, which I watch every night,
yeah.
oh, then yeah, I have been tainted by a third party outlet, NBC
Well,
News.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if it's necessarily the case that such an onerous burden will be created um, by this legislation. That seems pretty crazy to make every single married woman have to jump through like flaming hoops backwards doing a like barrel roll. I mean, why would that? I don't know. It seems it seems weird to me. It seems like fear mongering, and I don't know if that's the case. And I don't want to offend you by saying that I'm not sure if I believe that. So but I don't know. So I wanna read
I'm
this.
trying to find an article that comes from what I guess a semi-neutral,
Yeah,
reputable
who's
source.
neutral
Does that
these
make
days?
yeah? And that's kind
That's the problem. It's more like you got to look at right wing and left wing outlets and then assume that it's kind of somewhere in the middle. But I don't know. Um, I have not taken the
because
time
obviously
to inform myself
you
about
don't
the Save
accept
America
NBC
Act.
News.
I'm sorry?
You don't expect an NBC News.
I don't accept NBC News as objectively unbiased. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's just because my perspective is too far in a different direction and it's just, but I think whenever possible, it's best to form an opinion from whatever material is being discussed itself. Read the Save America Act to whatever extent possible and see if what NBC is saying will be created by this, see if that's actually in the legislation. And we need to remember it's still in Congress. So what
Okay.
is in it right now
I,
is
I
not
don't
necessarily what would be in it if and when it
haven't
passes.
read all of this quite yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully this will give us the what we're looking for. No, come back. Come
Ah,
back.
no.
My phone slid. No, come back. Come back to me. And it's called the Bipartisan Center. So I'm going to put faith that it's actually a bipartisan article. 6 things to know about the Save America Act. The Safeguard America Voter Eligibility Save America Act requires voters to provide documentary proof of citizenship at the time of registration and photo ID at the time of voting. Both parties agreed that voter registration should permit all eligible citizens and only citizens to register and vote in federal elections. Although instances of non-citizen registration and voting are rare, the Save America Act's goal of ensuring that only citizens can register to vote is important. But there are easier, more cost-effective, okay, this is where I'm not sure, ways of improving citizen verification that doesn't create new barriers for eligible voters. Here's what you need to know about the Save America Act. Citizenship is already a requirement to vote, and instances of non citizen voting are rare. Many eligible citizens don't have access to um, documentary proof of citizenship. There are better ways to verify citizenship than put the responsibility uh, that puts the responsibility on government, not voters. The Save America Act
Why, why
could
should it
have
be that way,
unintended
though?
consequences for election officials and election administration. Okay, this doesn't go into what I want.
Hmm.
I just
Why
posted a
should it?
link to vote.org in the chat that kind of goes over the changes to the voting and why it
Why
would be
should
more
it be
burdensome
the?
to disabled and women.
Oh,
Oh,
you are awesome.
It's from vote.org. If is
Uh,
that good enough, Mark?
I don't know what vote.org is, who they are. I
I
don't.
don't either.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Google.
Yeah, I'm looking at congress.gov. Um, bill requires individuals to provide documentary proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote and requires photo identification to vote in federal elections. I mean, so why is that such a burden? I don't know. Specifically, the bill prohibits states from accepting and processing an application to register to vote in a federal election unless the applicant presents documentary proof of citizenship. Okay, yeah. So the federal government can establish its own requirements to participate in federal elections if states wanna go all willy-nilly with their elections and let just anybody participate or whatever. Um, Let them, but those people don't necessarily deserve to participate in the federal elections. I don't know. At least that's what I take from that sentence. The bill specifies what documents are considered acceptable proof of U.S. citizenship, such as identification that complies with the Real ID Act of 2005 that indicates U.S. citizenship. So well, I don't see a big deal there either. Further, the bill one prohibits states from registering an individual to vote in a federal election unless at the time the individual applies to register to vote, the individual provides documentary proof of U.S. citizenship. And two, requires states to establish an alternative process to demonstrate U.S. citizenship.
But what is that process and what documentations are required?
States establish that. States will be required to establish that. You're, I mean, I don't necessarily take away from that any like anti-feminist um women are going to have such a I don't know. I don't see anything against any particular group except non-citizens who already should not be participating in this system. So, um, each state must take affirmative steps on an ongoing basis to ensure that only U.S. citizens are registered to vote, which shall include establishing a program to identify individuals who are not U.S. citizens using information supplied by certain sources. Certain sources is vague.
Right, it's NPR. Is that
All right. How
What
it affects
the
Americans,
the bill?
married women, an
Well,
estimate. Oh, go ahead. I forgot you weren't done.
the additionally, states must remove non-citizens from their official lists of eligible voters. The bill one provides for a private right of action for certain violations, and two establishes criminal penalties for certain offenses. Individuals voting in federal elections must present an eligible photo identification document. An individual who votes by absentee ballot must submit a copy of their identification document with both the request for and the submission of the absentee ballot. I mean, and that's the entirety of the text as it currently stands. Oh wait, no, that's the summary. Sorry. Text. This will be a nightmare. Go ahead, Toaster. You got
This affects more Americans than you think. Married women. An estimated 69 million American women do not have a birth certificate that matches their current legal name. Under this bill, they would need to present both a birth certificate and a marriage certificate to establish their identity. Research shows that while conservative and Republican-leaning women are statistically more likely to have changed their surnames after marriage. This burden is not partisan. It falls on tens of millions of women regardless of how they vote. Rural Americans and the 30th and the 30 largest um, counties by area in the western United States, voters would need to drive an average of 260 miles to reach an election office. Face One analysis found rural voters facing a and a half round trip on average.
That'd be real
Sounds
hard
about
if you
right.
can't drive.
But
A
those
center,
rural counties are also far more likely to be Republican
I'm not
red leaning
done.
and
A Center for American Progress analysis found some voters in Alaska and Hawaii would need to fly
fly.
for
Wow.
anyone
Yeah.
working hourly without reliable transportation or with a disability. That is not a manageable requirement. Young and first time voters. About 24% of Americans under 30 do not have access to qualifying documents. Voter registration drives at college campuses and community events would largely end since they depend on mail-in forms. Young voters who move frequently would need to re-present their documents every time um, and update their registration. Low-income Americans. The financial barriers above fall hardest on working class Americans across all political backgrounds. They are simply the least likely to have a passport or the flexibility to visit an election office during business hours. People of color. Research from the Brennan Center for Justice found that over 21 million Americans um, lack ready access to documentary proof of citizenship, with people of color disproportionately represented in that group. Nearly half of Black Americans under 30 do not have an ID with their current name and address. Many older Black Americans born in the pre-civil rights era were never issued a birth certificate at all. Military members and Americans abroad. The U.S. Vote Foundation has documented that the bill's in-person requirement would create significant barriers for service members stationed overseas and American citizens living abroad. We already know what happens when states try this. Kansas implemented a state-level proof of citizenship requirement for voter registration. Before the law, non-citizen registration in Kansas was approximately 0.002% of all registered voters. After the law took effect, it blocked roughly 31,000 eligible U.S. citizens, representing 12% of all applicants from registering. It prevented far more American citizens from registering than non-citizens and was eventually struck down in federal courts. Arizona implemented a similar requirement with a comparable outcome. That's it. Okay.
Is that it? Right. Yeah. Still in the last third, where 2/3 of that NPR article. Mark,
What? Wait, sorry. Huh?
the NPR article.
Apparently, we never finished the original article.
Which one?
Uh,
I've opened three different articles about this.
the only one
And
in NPR. That was all.
You want? There's like 2/3 of that NPR article left. It's
Yeah, we don't have to go there if you don't want to.
but
I,
mm,
I think we talked this subject ad nauseum.
Wait, come again?
um,
I think we may have talked the subject ad nauseum.
You gonna keep going with that one? I got something if you don't.
I I don't see um how providing a extra piece of identification is such an onerous burden that it should disqualify a piece of legislation from passing. I think that most women, when they get married, already do change their name. So we're only talking about a fraction of women who are already a fraction of the population. So I don't think that it really disenfranchises as significant a percentage of the population as is being represented by that article there. Um, yeah, I'm not convinced.
Only history will tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna read the bill itself. I don't trust what um what third party articles are portraying necessarily. It seems like everybody's got a perspective, a viewpoint, myself included. I'm not going to say that I'm objective, so don't jump on me for that. But
I think we
yeah,
could
I
both
don't.
tell that we fall on different sides of the subject.
Yeah, I don't see the um yeah, I don't see the disenfranchisement to married women that you are describing there. Yeah, I just don't see it. And even if it's there, it's a percentage of a percentage of a percentage who just have to take an extra step, which itself is just a couple hours worth of work to do exactly one time. Um,
It would take
so
me a lot longer than 2 hours to come up with my marriage
Not
license to
exactly
prove why my
one
name changed.
every time you moved and had to re-register to vote.
you don't have to
Mhm.
change your name every time you move.
No, but you have to
That's
prove
what you,
it still.
You still have to show up with all your documentation at the voting office, which is already hard for all disabled people. And
you have to
I
do
don't
that already anyway when you move. So why is that a problem for you? I mean, you bring
I'm not
your
even going to
ID.
argue with you anymore because you're not listening.
I don't understand what the issue. I mean, if you're saying this is a problem when you move, do you not bring your identifications with you when you move? Why would that be? I don't understand. I don't know.
Why? Why should they have to do that? Is the question. Why should they
How
have to go through that extra hassle?
how is this bill creating that burden
I
is
do
what
not
I'm
have
asking.
access.
It's
I do not have
already
access to my marriage license from 2003,
okay,
and
but
my
this
my
doesn't
last
change
name
that.
changed then.
I mean, this does not change that lack of access. And
Yep,
I,
that lack of access affects or being able to vote. for being able to register to vote.
Are you still married or
No, but
No,
her
I'm
name is
divorced.
still changed.
My name is, I didn't ever change my name back after I got divorced.
Why have to go through
Therefore, I,
it was a bitch the first time.
right. That's why I didn't change it because I didn't want to fuck
Hmm.
with, I didn't have time to go deal with changing all of my identification back to my maiden name. So I just left it. And
Mm.
here I am, 13 years after I got divorced, after being married for almost 10 years, I don't have access to
Long
all of that
time.
paperwork.
And it was easier to change then.
Mm.
Right,
Changing it back is even harder. And it was still
right.
hard to change it then.
Mm.
I had to go back to the Social Security office 3 times because they fucked up my Social Security card trying to change my name.
I gave up and just kept my maiden name.
I wish I would
I
have.
got lucky. Laziness saved my ass.
Is it any different from like just changing your name for non-marriage reasons?
Probably not.
Yeah, but
Probably not.
usually,
Isn't an actual
yeah,
because that I
depends.
mean that could be a simple answer to
Could
I
vary by
imagine
person.
in that matter, they would probably have to show up with the court documents that they required to change their name in the first place
But that's
to show
rare
that there was a
for
legal
men.
name change. That doesn't happen
well,
nearly as often as women change their last names for being married.
but I mean, would
You're talking about
would
fraction
that
of
take
fraction of
anything
fraction.
different from simply a birth certificate and your current ID? Like why is
No,
it
you need two
necessarily?
IDs.
I don't even know the last time I had seen my birth certificate. To be honest,
I don't have a clue where mine's at. My mom's probably got it in a file cabinet somewhere.
yeah. So it will be a hassle when someone actually wants to see that information. That's the hassle of having to go through all that. Hopefully, no one asks for my birth certificate. Hmm,
Pretty
don't
sure
plan
the
on
last
it.
time I saw mine is when I was getting married in 2003, because I think you had to have it to apply for a marriage license or something. But like I said, that was 23 years ago, so who knows?
Yeah, last time I seen my birth certificate was getting my ID when I was
But
18.
so the text of the law still requires states to establish a process to change that, to remove that. That's part of the text of,
Like for them.
or where was it? Go back.
Hmm. Andrew's about to blow up. We might want to move on.
No, we're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, each state must take affirmative steps on an ongoing basis to. Oh wait, no, that's not it.
Uh, oh my
Yeah, further, the
screen.
bill one prohibits states from registering individuals to vote, blah 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 blah, and two requires states to establish an alternative process to demonstrate U.S. citizenship. That right there is the text, the legalese, so to speak, that means that each individual state is required by this law to establish an alternative process for citizens who don't have access to the normal whoozy what's its to get their citizenship established.
I would think my real ID would probably should be sufficient enough since I had to provide my birth certificate and all that to do that. And that
That
Yeah,
was
should
probably
real
the last time I saw it.
IDs
that should be
are.
the real ID is
I read somewhere that
yeah.
it was not, you had to show that wasn't considered good enough. Like,
No,
But
but
the bill
from what I
specifies
understand,
what
only
documents are considered acceptable proof of U.S. citizenship, such as identification that complies with the Real ID Act of 2005 that indicates
yeah,
citizenship. Your your Real ID
but only
document.
5 states issue real IDs.
Well, Andrea's got one, right? You
I
just
got a
said,
legal ID.
yeah, I got a legal ID. Is it?
That's already
Are
three
we all
states.
just miraculously in those
This doesn't
five
make
states,
sense. That
or
Yeah,
are
give me a
they?
moment. This is taking me to a different site.
What article are you reading?
Enhanced driver's license. What are they?
I'm not in that log. I don't have a driver's license.
Oh, this is from DHS.gov. Enhanced driver's licenses are state issued enhanced driver's licenses that provide identity and U.S. citizenship when crossing the U.S. border in a vehicle. Oh, so they're like they're passport IDs.
Yeah.
Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Vermont, Washington.
Wait, I'm confused now. Can you drop the link in
Yeah,
the Zoom chat?
your objective mind might be able to understand this.
Well,
Oh, wait, no,
don't
I can't because
don't
that's on
give
my
me
I
computer.
like how you worded that.
don't give me too much credit. Um,
Well, I can get into it if you want. You're too objective that you can't see the individuality of the hardships.
well, you can't focus entirely on the individuality without completely neglecting the overall problem, right? Otherwise, you're just going to be, I don't know. Big picture is important. Big picture solutions will solve the smaller issues if implemented, and growing pains. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah, but this won't this
Why
won't
do they
fix
say
it.
drink water when you
It will just make
got the
things harder
hiccups?
for the US citizen.
Why do
I
they
don't
say
think
drink water if you have the hiccups?
the holding your breath part um
Oh,
helps you control the diaphragm, taking conscious control of that. Well, I don't know if it would necessarily be conscious control of it, but taking, yeah, taking control of that. Um, you can, I mean, holding your breath, is also kind of a folk remedy for hiccups and stuff. But
Drinking water,
if
holding your
they're
breath. My mom counts to 10.
if they're if they're myoclonic hiccups, I doubt that drinking water will solve the problem. You know.
I'm not
you
sure
just
if
have
it's
to
the
control your
myoclonics. I need to
diaphragm.
look into that. Uh, Still not sure yet, but it happens mainly, well, mostly when I'm just here, and that's why I think it's maybe from talking a lot, or maybe I'm breathing in a lot of air because I'm talking long times. I mean, a lot basically. Uh, yeah, yeah. So the hiccups are gone right now, and I just drank water, but I didn't know why the water was a specific thing. What if it was Sprite?
I believe any beverage would probably serve the purpose.
I
Um,
just
Okay.
take big deep breaths and try and control my diaphragm.
mm,
Another question. Why are male World Cup players wearing sports bras? Question mark.
nipple chafing.
Huh. I'll read the article and see what they say. We don't know Victoria's secret, but we might have we might have figured out Vinny Jr.'s. People on social media have been pointing out that the World Cup soccer players have been seem to be rocking some extra support underneath the jerseys or out on their own. Wow. I'm sorry. No offense to anybody. I'm sorry about that. Um, their matching sports bras are so cute, reads one TikTok caption. This is peak girlhood. I love their little sports bras, another one wrote. While the undergarments certainly evoke the iconic image of Brandy Chastain at the 1999 Women's World Cup, these star athletes are actually wearing GPS vests that
What?
track and
What?
measure performance during training and matches. A
Hmm.
majority of the World Cup players, including the entire Brazil national team, wear the vests, which are made by sports technology companies like Sports Performance Tracking, Catapult, and Stats Sports. Um, because the vests are all tight and cropped, many viewers think male athletes are wearing sports bras for chest support. Thomas Borchert, Thomas Borchert, an accountant executive at STP, told the Post. The crop top design purely functional, he said. It keeps GPS pod securely anchored shoulders, between the shoulder blades. This is the optimal anatomical position for satellite signal reception, minimal body movement interface, and player safety during collisions. The goal to help the teams better understand each player's individual output and make smarter decisions about training and recovery, giving coaches the staff the data they need to push their players to the limits while protecting them from injury. Yes, the GPS technology used in navigation apps and trackers, they're also part of the same family of sports wearables as biometric fitness devices like Aura rings, Apple watches, and Whoop bands. How these high tech crop tops change the game. Unlike runners following a predictable route, soccer players and other field athletes sprint, cut, collide, and constantly change direction. That means the sophisticated GPS technology inside these vests is built to collect and store data throughout the practices and matches, capturing the random explosive movement unique to sports rather than prescribing the same workload to an entire squad. Teams create customized training plans for each. Coaches analyze how fast a player is running, whether they're getting quicker, how much how much ground they're covering, whether fatigue is setting in, or if a specific body part, such as recovering hamstring, needs extra attention. Athletes, coaches, performance staff, and medical teams then specialize software to turn the data into better decisions about training, conditioning, recovery, and treatment. Instead of relying on guesswork, workloads can be adjusted based on what each player's body is actually doing. An athlete might feel 100% ready to return, but the GPS data reveals that they are reaching 80% of their maximum pre-injury sprint speed or favoring one leg high high speed decels, explained Borchert. Um, Keep them in rehab until their high speed metrics match baseline data. that prevents immediate injury. Oh yeah, that's I'm done. Go ahead.
So, first off, that technology is awesome. I've seen them. I've never actually questioned them before, to be honest. Uh, But now it makes sense. When you watch MLS games, um, like during halftime, they'll bring you the heat map, um, like who's been who player who is moving the fastest or the l- longest. Now I know where they get the data from.
I
Hmm.
bet their
From their
nipples are
chests.
protected too.
Yeah, I
I
sent
mean,
that
that
article to you
is
guys.
so cool.
They're
I
tracking
mean,
them.
I'm wondering if that does that. I mean, it says GPS. That, does that have anything to do with VAR either? But the but that but it never mentioned VAR once. Because if they're using GPS, then they would know it would be easier to figure out offsides.
Mm.
But I don't know. But the thing is about soccer, it has to be clear and obvious. So that's another thing. That's why a
Yeah,
lot of time the ruling of the ref on the field is is the ruling. It has to be clear and obvious.
yeah. So they're not wearing bras.
They look like sports bras.
I wouldn't wear it.
Oh, I
Uh,
bet that the women's teams will have probably have the same things integrated into their sports bras. I mean, they already lots of women athletes wear compression bras, so you don't have as much ountage.
Jiggle.
Yeah, jiggle there.
uh, yeah. I like that wording. Don't got that much dick. Oh
Don't,
man.
hey, jiggling after a while, it just starts to get annoying and hurts.
Okay.
Well,
So
and
if it's
there's for
compressed
every action,
against
there's an
your,
equal and opposite reaction. So I'd imagine it would get fatiguing.
yeah.
There's mass that is being counteracted every time you take a step,
So if
right?
you press it as
Unless
much as
you,
you can against your ribs, it's
yeah,
not as much.
It
yeah.
can get painful.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, I got another article. It says drunk Long Island bar hopper accidentally steals car that's identical to her own ride, cops say. Hmm. Not sure how that happens, but it says a boozed up Long Island bar rat was let damn. That's
They
yeah,
aren't
they called
holding
her
back.
right.
Somebody's got a beef.
Yeah, it says a boozed up Long Island bar rat was allegedly so hammered that she got into the wrong car as she left a local watering hole and sped away as an unwitting Fast and Furious car thief. Officials said Ariel Salgado, 35, was allegedly blasted on a combination of drugs and alcohol when she left a patchog. I don't know what that says. Patch and then OGUE, Patchogue. I don't know what that name is.
Oh, I don't know.
Uh, yeah, anyhow, it's a bar. When she left the bar on Saturday and took off in a gray 2020 Mazda CX-5, identical to her own vehicle, according to the Suffolk Suffolk County Police Office. The rightful owner of the vehicle accidentally left his key in the car, and
Oh,
Salgado's identical Mazda was parked a few spots away, sheriff said. Our deputy sheriff, deputy sheriffs remain vigilant in identifying and removing impaired drivers out of from our roadways before they can cause serious harm, said Sheriff Errol Tullen Jr. This incident also serves as a reminder to never leave your key fob inside your vehicle, even for a short time, he added. Salgado was pulled over nearby shortly after leaving the bar after cops witnessed her driving at a high rate of speed nearby Waverly Avenue just before 3 a.m. Officers said Salgado's breath stunk of booze, her speech was slurred, and she completely bomb field sobriety test before officers ran plates and realized the rightful owner just reported the car as stolen. Cops discovered that Salgado stole the car, in quote, by mistake, and the vehicle was returned to the rightful owner who decided not to press charges, cops say. Oh my goodness.
every time you said rightful owner, it sounded to me like rifle owner. I'm like, wow, things are intense there.
I'm sorry about that. We finish this
No,
last
it
piece.
was entertaining. That plus the bar rat getting in the wrong car, the rifle owner's gonna go and get his stuff back. Like,
Boozed
damn,
up bar rat. Not
boozed
just a
up
bar
Right.
rat,
bar rat
boozed up bar rat.
on a combination of unknown, yeah, bombed to field sobriety test. Like, damn, that's
That's basically it.
was that like an ex-boyfriend who wrote that article?
Somebody was angry. Um,
Sounds like it. Yeah.
they found that
Oh,
article to write about, and it got clicks.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
boozed
Hey,
up bar
it
rat.
was entertaining. I liked it. Ah, there we go. There's my comb.
I knew you would. Uh,
Yeah, I dropped it. Had to figure out. Oh,
yeah, that was the end of the article. Yeah, don't drink and drive, people. Press that thumbs up button if you're watching.
Don't
Uh,
leave your keys in the car either.
yeah, because
don't.
I was reading it to that point, and I was like, "Where are we gonna get to the point where they say how she drove
How?
away in his car?"
Yeah.
I was wondering that, but I kept reading and I got to it. And yeah, the key in the car. Don't leave your keys in the car, people. Um, I don't suggest it. Oh, toaster's gone.
Yeah.
Didn't notice. Sorry
Um.
about that. I got another article here.
Well.
It says, oh, you got something?
Um.
Go ahead.
Well, no. I was just looking. No, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't go back to. But um. In the state of Florida, you can get a birth certificate replaced online, like pretty easily. So yeah, I probably shouldn't circle back to the last topic, the last article, but like,
All I'm gonna say is it's gonna cost us money to get replacement documents that we shouldn't have to bear that burden.
it looks like there's
And it takes a long time.
$26.
Yeah, but you add that $26 to getting the court
Yeah,
papers that I would need for my divorce, and there's
yeah,
another fee, and
yeah, yeah. But
plus the time. If you don't get it done in time, then you won't be able to register and vote because they took too long to get you your documents.
Mm.
or it could be said that you did not get the ball rolling early enough.
They don't actually have like a specified, we'll get it to you in this time,
Right. So
and
you're
it
going to
usually
start
takes
as
time.
early as possible. Never give the
Uh,
government any credit for any competency. But yeah,
I
I'm
don't think our
sorry. I
government's
should
very
not.
competent
No. Yeah.
once you're
Uh,
in
there,
a whole lot of areas.
the
uh,
yes. The
yes.
neither the individuals that make up the organization nor the broader entity itself deserve any credit for competency, but that's what we're stuck with. So, um, okay, I'm sorry for bringing that back around. Um, we should
So
have
good.
done.
We're
Um,
here for it. I got an
what
article here
was
though.
that?
It says
I got
16
15
year
minutes.
16-year-old burns
One
nearly
more article.
80% of his body after doing terrifying TikTok. Oh, what the hell? Oh, my article just went away. What happened? I don't know what happened.
Eighty
Uh,
percent of something body terrifying TikTok stunt TikTok what TikTok. That's the thing. Yeah. TikTok stunt 80% of his body. What?
Was burned, I think
uh,
it said.
Burn?
yeah, I was reading it and then just a bunch of advertisements popped up and it wants you to pay $5.99 a month. Oh,
Oh,
man.
I hate websites that do that.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one to read. But sorry, you guys. They want me to should subscribe, and it says contribute five ninety nine a month. I'm gonna pass on that one.
Mason Dark, a 16-year-old high school football player from Wake Forest, North Carolina, suffered third-degree burns covering nearly 80% of his body after a viral social media challenge went wrong.
There you go.
April 2023. Was that it?
Yes, you
Um,
gonna.
yeah, I don't have an article here. It's just the Google summary, but it says what happened in April 2023. Mason and his friends attempted a dangerous viral trend often called the flamethrower challenge. That is idiotic.
To
Um,
say the
the,
least.
yeah, the challenge involved using a lighter and a highly flammable aerosol spray paint can to create a makeshift torch. Damn it, I have done that. Okay.
But did you point it at someone?
No.
See,
Good.
there's the difference. You have a
Let's
little,
see.
you have better brain than they do.
Well, I don't know.
I
I don't
think. I
know if I
think
should
he.
describe what I did on YouTube. YouTube
Uh,
removed a video of it saying it violated safety standards.
mm, that's a story we won't get. At least not
I'm
Not
live.
curious
live
now.
on air. Not live on air. It wasn't a big deal. It just YouTube's safety standards got a lot stricter um, about 10 years ago. So it used to be like the Wild West. You could share anything stupid you did. And then they started going corporate and wanted third-party advertisements inserted into all of their ads or all of their videos, and started doing partnership content creator promotion things and stuff. So that's when they took it down. I mean, it was a 30-second video. Nothing. Anyway, during the attempt, the canister exploded into a massive fireball. Okay, so he did it wrong. Um, I don't I don't know how I could
Maybe he held it too close to
Yeah.
the fire.
If the spray can was almost empty, yeah, then the velocity, the pressure and velocity of the combustible fuel coming out of the spray can might not be enough to exceed the yeah, the auto ignition velocity of the. Okay. His mother, Holly Dark, reported that her son was left completely unrecognizable by the blast. Two specific split-second actions worsened his injuries. One tearing off his shirt, ripping the burning fabric off his body caused a severe T-shaped third-degree burn across his back where the melting shirt stuck to his skin.
He jumped in a
Ouch.
lake as well.
So how would tearing off his shirt make that worse? It seems like tearing it off is the answer to get the melting shirt off of you,
If it
right?
was already melted to his skin, though, it probably
Oh,
pulled the
yeah.
skin off,
Then there's
therefore
no
opened the
way.
wound for infection.
Yeah, there's no way to remove the melted shirt from his back without removing all the skin along with it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. And then, yeah, second one they say is jumping into a river. In a desperate bid to soothe the pain, he jumped into a nearby river. While it extinguished the residual flames, the untreated river water exposed his raw skin to extreme risks of bacterial infection. Wow. Yeah. Medical
Better than
recovery.
being on
Mason
fire.
was rushed to the UNC Burn Center where doctors confirmed third degree burns covered 76 to 80% of his body. He spent more than 6 months in the intensive burn unit undergoing extensive skin graft surgeries. Medical professionals and fire officials strongly urge parents, to talk to their children about severe life altering dangers of viral social media challenges involving household chemicals like rubbing alcohol or aerosols. That is, it's tragic that that's even a thing that has to happen these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
okay, don't light yourself on fire just to get imaginary internet popularity points. Not worth it.
What's going
Uh,
on? There's a lot these days.
yeah.
And that's the TikTok trend this week. You got to try it.
Oh,
Somebody's
I
gonna
don't.
do it wrong. I won't, but I
Oh,
mean, the kids were like, somebody needs to do it, and someone ends up doing it, and someone ends up getting hurt. Then we got a story.
so much. Yeah. I'm so glad grew up in the 90s. It was so much safer riding a bicycle down the middle of a road with no helmet. So
Right.
much safer
Safer than
than
TikTok.
TikTok trends. Yeah. Uh, plus, it's
Yeah.
just more fun too, you know? Not
Yeah.
trying to be popular, just, you know,
If it
being
happened, it
dumb.
happened.
Yeah.
Uh,
And there was no camera to film it. So
yeah. I got a little short article here. It says,
I'm probably going to have
Dad,
to dip off any time because I know my mother will be texting me that she's on the way. So if I disappear, that's why.
all right. Uh, it
I'll
says,
stick around as long as I can.
Okay. Dad arrested after allegedly taking daughter, 2 year old, into elephant enclosure at the San Diego Zoo.
What?
What the?
The father of a 2 year old girl has been charged with child endangerment after he allegedly entered the elephant enclosure at the San Diego Zoo on Friday. An official confirms to People, Jose Navarrete, 25-year-old, was booked into the San Diego Central Jail on Friday, where his bond was set at $100,000, according to the online jail records. He is scheduled to appear in front of a judge on March 30th. On Friday, Navarrete allegedly took his 2-year-old daughter into the habitat after bypassing multiple barriers, including an electric fence. Police told TV station KGTV. Police told the station that the man allegedly wanted to take a photo. The man, in quote, purposely and illegally trespassed into the habitat for Asian and African elephants. San Diego Zoo spokesperson Andrew James told the Associated Press in a video obtained by NBC7, a man accompanying a child can be seen running away from an elephant charging at him. Wow. The man appears to drop the child as he attempts to get away from the elephant. Afterward, a witness told ABC 10 that she was grateful to see the man and girl successfully escaped without any injuries. In quote, I froze, she told the station. I prayed, she told the station, I prayed they that they escape with their lives. While the father was arrested, the girl went home with the mother, the AP reported. Navarrete was entered a plea. Police officials said it was unclear whether he has obtained an attorney.
He dropped the kid.
Near
That's
That's
you. That's what he
that's
was
what I
thinking.
thought. Like, what kind of?
right. Just
Yeah, I mean,
what the
yeah,
hell? I mean, if that was my child, I would do more to save my child's life than my own.
yeah.
He did not. He that it's not funny for me to be laughing. This guy's stupid. He just like drop the baby and leave. I didn't see the video, but I think it has a link to it. Uh,
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
just so wrong.
yeah, bad but funny. Um, yeah, I had some other stuff, you guys. Uh, so I'll keep going. Man charged with uh, man charged after two-year-old boy in his care allegedly overdosed on cocaine during Jersey Shore vacation. A New Jersey man is facing charges of child endangerment and possession of cocaine, among others, after a 2-year-old boy allegedly ingested cocaine while in his care, according to the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office. Alexander T. Moles brought the toddler to the hospital in North Wildwood on Monday, July 20th, because the child was having difficulty breathing. Officials with the North Wild Fire Department were then called then called to vehicles Mole's vehicle stopped at the intersection of Coastal Towns 21st and New Jersey's avenues after they received a report of a sick boy. End quote. EMS administered 2 doses of naloxone, naloxone nasal spray,
Yeah,
Narcan,
naloxone,
yeah,
Narcan.
Narcan, to which the child responded to and transported the 2-year-old to Cooper University Hospital in Cape Regional for further medical attention. The prosecutor's office said pre- preliminary blood tests of the 2-year-old male were also positive for cocaine. Wow. Investigators later learned that Moles, 39 years old, was vacationing at a home in Wildwood, located in the Jersey Shore at the time of the incident. Court documents obtained by New Jersey 101.5 state that Moles was staying at an Airbnb with a woman and other children when he was responsible for watching the kids while the woman took a shower. However, When the woman came back to the children, she noticed that the 2-year-old was, in quote, sleepy. The outlet reported, citing the court documents, New Jersey 1015 reported that Moles called the woman while he was on the way to the hospital and told her that the 2-year-old was falling asleep, and she subsequently called 911. Moles told investigators that he believed the child had taken, in quote, painkillers. Authorities later searched Moles' room and allegedly found pieces of a pill, several tinfoil packets labeled, in quote, tapent, uh, tapentadol hydrochloride, a narcotic pain medication, and a clear plastic bag containing a white powdery substance, New York 1015 reported. Moles was later arrested and charged with endangering the welfare of a child, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of prescription legend drugs, and prosecutor's office said he also faces a disorderly person's offense. He was taken to Cape May Correctional Facility and was released following his detention hearing with conditions on July 24th, officials said. The investigation remains ongoing. It is unclear if Moles has legal representation and to comment on his behalf. Anyone who may have additional information related to, yeah, we don't need that. You guys got any information on that? Because I do not. But that's messed
Well,
up.
yeah, if naloxone reversed what was happening, well, first off, if it was falling asleep, that was not cocaine that the baby got into. Um, and second, if naloxone reversed it, then it was definitely an opioid overdose. Um, so I don't know why they're charging him with cocaine unless he also had cocaine there, in which case,
Yeah, they
um,
said a white substance.
yeah, but
And then the kid
uh,
tested positive for cocaine.
Yeah, that too.
well, but and to pin, I don't know this how to pronounce this. It's not one that was widely out there like years ago, but tapentadol. Yeah. Um,
Appendidol. Yeah, that was
that's
one there.
yeah. If the kid's falling asleep, then he had to have a strong opioid, a lot of it, in order to over.
He's 2 years old too. So
Right.
when you have too much of something, you go to sleep because you're dying.
Not coke. You don't fall
Well,
asleep on cocaine.
uh,
I don't think so. I don't know.
um,
Most
yeah,
strong dopamine stimulants that I've been aware of are the type that you're going to be up for days, not put you
yeah.
to sleep. Um,
Well, I think I'm be up for days. I never smoked crack, so I couldn't tell you.
uh, uh, there might be more charges to come, I guess, is what I'm getting at there. Um,
uh,
there's
yeah,
there's more drugs in that house than just cocaine in,
we'll never know.
in that kid's system, unless he has a prescription for it. I don't, which unlikely, I think. Um, yeah, then he shouldn't. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, we can end it here, and everybody out there, thanks for watching. Have a good day, because I will. And Mark,
Like, subscribe, share. Is there one that I'm forgetting? I think there's a like, share, and subscribe. That's it.
you got it. That's it.
That's it. I got it. Yay! I got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day.